Good morning. I'm going to call this meeting the June 18th action meeting of the Commonwealth Transportation Board to order. And the first item on the agenda, we're going to do Pledge of Allegiance. Let's do Pledge of Allegiance. Normally we do them all. We're doing our meetings back to back, so we don't do it twice, but I like doing it twice. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Always a great way to start a morning, and then we get to move into another good part of our agenda. If there's anybody here that's from the public that would like to speak during the public comment session, I know we have somebody that's going to speak a little later. There's anybody here that signed up that would like to speak, or somebody that hasn't signed up that would like to speak? Okay, hearing none, we'll move to the approval of the minutes. They were distributed in your package. Are there any comments or questions? Motion to approve, and a second from Mr. Yates and Ms. Hines. There's further discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Were there any abstentions?
Yes, I wasn't here.
Okay. Coleman abstains. He was not present. The first numbered item on our agenda is item number 1. It's action on discontinuance in the primary system of State Highway Route 123 in Fairfax County. Mr. Hoffrichter, good morning. Hope you're well.
Good morning, sir. Doing well. I hope
Welcome.
you are too.
Thank you, sir.
This is a discontinuance of a portion of Route 123. The roadway was rebuilt, 4-laned, relocated, and this is just a leftover segment. This is still part of our cleanup from some old actions that should have been taken, and we're taking care of them now.
Ms. Hines?
I move approval, Mr. Secretary.
Thank you, Ms. Hines. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Hines moves, and Mr. Casper seconds. Is there further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions? Thank you very much. Item number 2, action on commemorative naming at the request of the town of Broadway on the bridge on State Route 259 Lee Street over Linville Creek, town of Broadway, located within the Stanton District, as the William Billy M. Pangle Memorial Bridge. Mr. Prezioso.
Good morning, sir. Yes, sir. The first item we have this morning is the naming of the William Billy M. Pangle Memorial Bridge. The town of Broadway enacted a resolution in May of this year. The county of Rockingham also enacted a resolution in April of this year to honor the life and service and ultimate sacrifice of William Billy M. Pangle to his country and community. According to these resolutions, Mr. Pangle was the only graduate of Broadway High School to have died during the Vietnam War. He passed away at the age of 19 in April of 1968 in a naval hospital. He was mortally wounded by an explosive device after volunteering for a nighttime mission. His family and friends describe him as a brave American hero who made the ultimate sacrifice.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. Merrill. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Casper, seconds. Is there any comments or questions? Hearing none, please rise to denote your affirmative vote on this motion. Thank you. Item number 3, Mr. Prezioso, action on commemorative naming of the bridge on State Routes 80, 83, Dickinson Highway over the Russell Prater Creek in the town of Hasty, located within the Bristol District, is the Rocky S. Wood Memorial Bridge. And I believe Deputy Forester Zimmer is here as well. Is he here?
Yeah, Mr. Zimmer is here to speak to this forestry employee who died in the line of duty. Mr. Zimmer.
Mr. Zimmer, welcome. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you, Secretary Miller and Commissioner Brick and members of the board. Thanks for giving me a couple minutes just to talk about a little bit about Rocky. Rocky Wood had a 25-year association with our agency as a part-time firefighter and then as a full-time firefighter. And he actually passed away while he was working to combat a wildfire in Southwest Virginia. But well beyond his association with our organization, he was a key member of his community. And I do have to correct you, Secretary, it's Haysai.
Excuse me.
And they are very proud of that pronunciation down there. But he was on various boards and commissions and just a true servant leader in his community. And I urge you all to act favorably on this application. And thank you for the time.
Appreciate you coming and speaking to him, Mr. Zimmer. I was a firefighter in my earlier years in college and did a fair amount of fighting fires out in the woods with an Indian tank on my back and a rake. And so
That's when it was really a lot harder than it is today sometimes. But thank you. Thank
Yes,
you for
sir.
your
So
service too. Thank you.
certainly appreciate what he's done, and I apologize to the town of Haysai. And it's Britch. Okay? We'll work together here. Between us, we'll get it right, okay? Mr. Prezioso.
In addition to having a letter from the Department of Forestry in support of this, we also had resolutions from Dickinson County from March of this year and from the town of Haysai in April of this year. Mr. Zimmer has already spoken to the accolades for this, so request your approval of this resolution.
Secretary, I move approval.
Folks made a motion. Is there a second? Second. Mr. Stantz seconds. Is there further discussion? All in favor, please rise with me. Very much. Mr. Heltzer, item number 4, action on limited access control changes for the Route 1 STARS project in the city of Fredericksburg.
Good morning, Mr. Secretary,
Morning, sir.
members of the board. This is a project that was initiated through our strategically targeted affordable roadway solutions program and became a safety project that seeks to improve traffic operations at the westbound Route 3 off-ramp to northbound alternate US 1 in the city of Fredericksburg. We're also adding an auxiliary lane there, so by virtue of that, we pushed the limited access controls out from the center line of the road. There was a willingness posted for the project with no request for a public hearing. We've completed our environmental documentation. The city manager of Fredericksburg has endorsed this project and the limited access control changes, as has our chief engineer. And with favorable dispensation from the board, we'll move on to the next stages of project development.
Thank you, Mr. Heltzel. Ms. Zellers. We have a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Hines seconds. Is there further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions? Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Heltzel.
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Farmer. Item number 5, action on authorizing the issuance and sale of revenue refunding bonds. Good morning.
Good morning,
Hope
Mr.
you're well.
Secretary, members of the board. As you mentioned, the appropriate title, this authorizes VDOT in coordination with the Secretary to move forward with any potential refunding opportunities over the next 2 years. So I'll be happy to answer any questions.
We talked about this yesterday. Is there a motion to approve?
Move approval.
Ms. Hines moves, Mr. Merrill seconds. Is there further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions? Thank you very much. Item number 6, action on the fiscal year 2025 annual budgets for the Commonwealth Transportation Fund, the Department of Rail and Public Transportation, and the Virginia Department of Transportation. Ms. Farmer and Ms. O'Leary.
Yes, sir. Good morning. So we've presented the budgets for both the CTF, VDOT, and DRPT, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have on those materials.
Anybody have any questions? Any reason to break these apart? All right, hearing none, is there a motion to approve? Motion. Mr. Kattenbauer seconds. Is there further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions? Thank you very much, ladies, appreciate it. Ms. Pryor, item number 7, action on the FY 24-29 six-year improvement program transfers for April 20 through May 17th of 2024. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr.
Welcome.
Secretary.
Good morning.
Good morning. Before you is in your packet a list of the transfers made in the months of April and May, and I recommend your approval.
Comments or questions? There's a motion by Mr. Yates. Mr. Coleman seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. With any abstentions? Thank you very much. Item number 8, action on the six-year improvement program and rail and public transportation allocations for fiscal year 25 to 2030. Ms. Pryor.
Thank you. Yesterday, I briefed you all on the details of the final 2025 to 2030 six-year improvement program, and I recommend your approval.
Moved.
Hines moves, Dr. Smoot seconds. Is there further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. With any abstentions? Thank you, Ms. Pryor. Appreciate it. Mr. Dudley. Item number 9, action on the FY 2025 Arlington and Henrico Counties maintenance payments.
Good morning. As you know, Virginia Code requires that the board approve street maintenance payments for the counties of Arlington and Henrico. They are the only 2 counties in the state that operate and maintain their own local systems. After final adjustments for budget, increases and changes in lane miles for each locality, the FY25 lane mile payments are as follows: $24,662.44 for Arlington County and $17,945.72 for Henrico County. Also included in the street maintenance payments is the distribution of overweight permit fees. This year, each locality will receive approximately $3.79 per lane mile. We request your approval of this year's recommended payment rates identified in the attachments to your resolution.
Are there any comments or questions? Ms. Hines is going to make the motion to send some money to Arlington
So moved.
and her last action.
Second.
Let's sit on that for a minute. How much money is Ms. Hines sending Arlington?
A lot of lane miles.
It's a lot of lane miles. It's
Spread the number.
I don't remember the exact number. It's
There's a couple $1 million.
probably 19 million.
Yeah, something like that.
something.
Let's just round it up, and make it 20.
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck? Ms. Hines has done a lot of good work for Arlington for a lot of years. So it will be what it is, right? Ma'am, we have a motion. Thank you very much. And Mr. Davis is making a second.
Second.
Second. Isn't that nice? Is there any further comment or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions? Thank you very much. Item number 10, action on payments to cities, certain towns in Warren County for maintenance of certain roads and streets for FY 2025.
Yes, sir. As noted in the workshop presentation last month, the urban street maintenance payments are divided into 2 categories of payments. One is arterial roads and the other is local and collector roads. After final adjustments for the budget increase and changes in moving lane miles for all the localities, the FY25 moving lane mile payment rates are as followed: $29,094.20 for arterial roads and $17,082.15 for local and collector roads. Also included in the street maintenance payments is the distribution of overweight permit fees, just like Arlington and Henrico. This year, each locality will receive $3.79 per lane mile. Payments also include $1 million taken off the top for the city of Chesapeake to assist in the operations and maintenance of their movable bridges. They are the only locality in the state that operate movable bridges. And finally, the CTB makes payments to 4 localities where the Virginia Port Authority owns tax-exempt real estate. That's Norfolk, Portsmouth, Newport News, and Warren County. These payments are identified in the board's resolution, and we request your approval.
Are there any comments or questions? Mr. Coleman. Mr. Lawson. We have a motion and we have a second. Is there further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions? Mr. Thrasher, Mr. Coker sent you into the fire. You go on vacation?
No, sir, he had his knee replaced.
Oh, goodness sakes. Is he doing all right?
He's doing fine, sir.
Send him our best, please.
I will, sir. So in memory of Mr. Coker's knee. We have 6 projects to bring forth, sir.
He's been up here begging us to approve his bids, and so he's worn out his knees.
Yes, sir, he has. First one, L05, it's in our Richmond district. It is a ATMS installation. We had 4 bidders. The low bid was $5.8 million. The low bid contractor, Richardson Whalen. We find the bid represents good value and recommend approval.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Davis moves. Is there a second? Ms. Sellers seconds. Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Any abstentions? Thank you very much. Order number 725.
This is a 2025 plant mix in our Culpeper district, sir. We had 4 bidders. The low bid was 8.3 by Chemung, was within range. We believe it represents good value and ask approval.
Myers moves. Mr. Yates seconds. For further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions?
Thank you.
All right, order number K79.
This is a project in our Hampton Roads district, sir. It's a new connection to Dyke Pike Road in Isle of Wight County. We had 3 bidders. The low bid was 8.3, Branscombe. We believe it represents good value and recommend approval by the board.
Is there a second? Mr. Coleman seconds. We have a motion and a second. Is there further discussion?
Question, Mr. Secretary.
Yes, sir, Mr. Merrill.
This was remarkable how much lower it came in under the estimated cost. Can you comment on that? It was 13 million was the estimated, and it came in roughly 2/3 of that.
I'm just glad it did, sir. I don't know
Me too, I'm just curious.
don't know the answers behind the bidders on it, but that is an unusual area, Isle of Wight. We normally have few bidders, and to have this many bidders on this amount of work and get that kind of bid is a good thing.
Nice work.
Anyone else? We have a motion, we have a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions? Thank you very much. Order number K61.
Interchange improvements in Hampton Roads District in the city of Suffolk. We had 3 bidders. Low bid was $30 million. The low bid contractor was Crowder Construction Company. It was within range. We believe it has good value. Recommend approval.
Mr. Stant moves. Is there a second? Mr. Coleman seconds. Is there any comments or questions? Further discussion?
Madam Secretary.
Yes, sir, Mr. Merrill.
Just out of curiosity, this is a long way from a Charlotte firm. Are they trying to penetrate Virginia, do more work here? Is that an opportunity for us?
We welcome Crowder into the state, sir. This is, they've done a few jobs for us, and the more contractors we can pull from other states, the better off we are.
Job.
What else? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions?
Our next one
All
is
right,
a
Mr. Thrasher,
Sir?
number DB 127.
It's in our Culpeper District, Albemarle intersection. This was a bundling job in Albemarle County. We had 2 bids. The low bidder was 37.2, Curtis Contracting. It did exceed our range. However, both 1 and 2 bidders were within approximately 1% of one another. Therefore, I believe it represents good value and recommend approval.
You reference what a bundling project is?
We have multiple different projects in this, sir. And in this particular one, we had 4 roundabouts and a T intersection.
In different places, sort of?
Different geographical places, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. All right. Do we have a motion? Captain Byers? Mr. Yates seconds. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions? All right, order number DB 130 in the Bristol and Salem area.
This again, sir, is another bundling job with bridges. We had 3 bidders. Low bid was 28.7 by Brayman Construction, was within range. It does represent good value. I recommend approval.
Questions? Dr. Smoot?
Mr. Secretary, move approval.
Mr. Folks? We have a motion and we have a second. Any further discussion? Dr. Smoot moved and Mr. Folks seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say no. Are there any abstentions? Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it very much.
Sir, may I have one moment on the floor, please?
Yes, sir.
Just like to thank Ms. Hines, Mr. Yates, Mr. Merrill, Mr. Folks. It's been an honor to have served with you over the last 4 years, and wish you all the best in the future. Thank you very much.
Thrasher. Mr. Thrasher, I'll note that you sort of cherry-picked Mr. Coker's. There was only one out of range, and you came and did the report for him this time. So if next meeting there's more out of range, we're going to get you to come back and do it.
Sometimes good, sir, it's better to be lucky than good.
Yes, sir. Well, please send Mr. Coker our best wishes and
I will, sir,
for
thank you.
speedy recovery, and we look forward to seeing him back here. Now we move into new business. I have a few items of new business that I'd like you to take up. Mr. Thrasher sort of started us off. This is the last meeting in this fiscal year for this board, and a couple of our members have termed out and are no longer eligible to be reappointed and are leaving the board. And it's happy and sad. It's happy for them for the work that they've done, incredible sacrifices they've made. There's a lot of time. People don't realize how much time goes into this board if you do it right. And these folks on this board, all of y'all do it right. So when you have folks that have been on here for 8 years, they've had a tremendous impact on the board and on the transportation in Virginia. And we had a great time last night with dinner with our group. We exchanged lots of love and some great stories, and so we're happy for the folks that move on, but we're sort of sad at the same time because we're going to miss them and certainly miss their contribution to this board. And I have to tell you, somebody that's been on it and involved in it for a long time, we've got an excellent group of folks who all are just committed to doing the best they can do and have done so and have made a big difference in the lives of Virginians. And so it's a pleasure and an honor to serve with you all. And it's my pleasure now to call on Mr. Kasparitz for a resolution and a motion.
Mr. Secretary, members of the board, it's with great pleasure that I read the resolution dated June 18th. The title is Commending Mary Hughes Hines. Whereas Mary Hines served as a member of the Commonwealth Transportation Board representing the Northern Virginia District from 2016 to 2024, having been appointed in 2016 by Governor Terry McAuliffe for a 4-year term and subsequently reappointed for a 4-year term by Governor Ralph Northam in 2020. And whereas Ms. Hines brought to her tenure on the board a dedicated record of leadership and service and has made significant contributions to the public sector and her community, having worked as an early childhood professional in a number of nonprofit preschools in Arlington County, and having served as chair and member of the Arlington County Board, chair and member of the Arlington County, and member of Northern Virginia Transportation Commission, member of the Northern Virginia Transportation Authority, member of the Washington Metropolitan Area Transportation Authority, and member of the Virginia Transit Association. And whereas Ms. Hines has demonstrated her commitment to and played a significant role in transportation in the Commonwealth, serving as a member of the Commonwealth Transportation Board, representing the Northern Virginia District, and serving as a member of the Environmental Committee, the Innovation Committee, the Rail and Transit Committee, and Revenue Sharing Transportation Alternatives Program Policy Committee. And whereas she went the extra mile in her strong support and passionate advocacy in Northern Virginia for transportation demand management and bicycle and pedestrian infrastructure and safety, demonstrated in particular by her collaboration with the Virginia Department of Transportation to create a dynamic map that displays Northern Virginia's bicycle and pedestrian volume count data and multimodal transportation facility data, and by her consistent efforts to assist VDOT with her crews of various applications, with her review of various applications for transportation alternative program and smart scale projects by providing insights instrumental to solving challenging issues. And whereas exercising the careful attention to detail for which she is well known, commitment, and insight have earned Ms. Hines the admiration and respect of her colleagues and the staff of Virginia Department of Transportation and the Department of Rail and Public Transportation. And whereas, in addition to all her efforts in the transportation sector, Ms. Hines has also contributed to the arts, entertaining audiences as a stand-up bass musician in the intergenerational quintet, the Dulcitones, who provide a fresh take on pop, rock, jazz, folk classics in various venues. And whereas the Commonwealth Transportation Boards wishes to express its appreciation to Ms. Hine for her years of service to the board and to the Commonwealth, now therefore be it resolved by the Commonwealth Transportation Board that the members of this board hereby extend to Mary Hines their highest commendation and gratitude for her years of outstanding service on behalf of the citizens of the Commonwealth, and convey their best wishes to her in all her future endeavors, knowing whether they are oriented in transportation, music, or otherwise, they will be noteworthy.
Thank you.
So I'm going to do something different. I'm going to ask the entire board, although you've just gotten ahead of me, to stand and to second as a group. I don't know if that's really parliamentary procedure, but we're creating our own here. We're going to second as a group this resolution. So if you'll please join me in standing to recognize Ms. Hines and seconding her, the resolution in her honor. Ms. Hines, suitably presented resolution, copy of this resolution.
That was great.
That was great.
Mr. Coleman.
Thank you. One of the things that I recognize, in addition to all of those accolades that Mary provided me when I first started on this board, was a mentorship. She took me under her wing. She was very helpful and many times asking questions of the board that she already had the answer to, but for the benefit of the new people on this board, she did so. And I want to thank you personally for that. People that started a few months after I did, they called me and said, "What do I do? I don't know what I'm doing here." I said, "Call Mary." Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman.
Thanks, Mr. Coleman.
Appreciate it. Dr. Smoot.
Mr. Secretary, members of the board, I'm pleased to offer a resolution for Greg Yates. I must say I do this with an element of regret. And first, I want to thank you for making possible a most appropriate event last evening with Carol's able assistance, at which we could recognize those members of the board who have served so well and will not be with us going forward. That was a very nice event. Resolution for Greg Yates. Whereas Greg Yates served as a member of the Commonwealth Transportation Board as a rural at-large member from 2016 to 2024, having been appointed in 2016 by Governor Terry McAuliffe for a 4-year term. And I'm going to add he was also appointed, I think, to fill an unexpired term just before that, and was subsequently reappointed for a 4-year term by Governor Ralph Northam in 2020. And whereas Mr. Yates brought to his tenure on the board a dedicated record of leadership and experience in the private sector, serving as owner and manager of Yates Properties, LLC, and as principal for Deer Ridge Development, Inc., firm specializing in the development and management of commercial and residential properties. And whereas Mr. Yates has made significant contributions to the public sector in his community, having served on numerous boards and associations, including the Shandor National Park Trust, the State Theater Foundation, and the Culpeper County Board of Supervisors. And whereas Mr. Yates diligently and tirelessly has played a significant role in the transportation of the Commonwealth, serving as a rural at-large member of the Commonwealth Transportation Board and as a member of the Innovation Committee and Highway Renaming Work Group, and as chairman of the Revenue Sharing Transportation Alternatives Program Policy Committee, where he provided sound insights and guidance to agency staff and other members in the formulation of board policies. Whereas in fulfilling the duties as a member of the board, his leadership, commitment, and insight have earned Mr. Yates the admiration and respect of his colleagues and the staff at the Virginia Department of Transportation and the Department of Rail and Public Transportation. Whereas the Commonwealth Transportation Board wishes to express its appreciation to Mr. Yates for his years of service to this board and to the Commonwealth. And I want to add, whereas he's generally just a good guy. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Commonwealth Transportation Board that the members of this board hereby extend to Greg Yates their highest commendation and gratitude for his years of outstanding service on behalf of the citizens of the Commonwealth and convey their best wishes to him in all his future endeavors.
Thank you, Dr. Smith. Before I ask for a group second, I think the piece that you entered in there at the end is what I think about most. You know, a board like this has lots of dynamics, and we're from different places. We have different backgrounds. We have different styles. And Greg's style is one of sort of standing back and listening and being very thoughtful and inserting himself occasionally. And usually when he does, it sort of puts the oil on the water and makes it all work together because he's just a good guy that's really smart. And so I will miss that, sir. A lot of us can get in there and fight and get detailed. And sometimes we need folks to sort of pull us out of that and see the larger picture, and you do a great job of that. So we will sincerely miss you. And with that, I'll ask you to join me in rising as a second. Copy that resolution. We may make a little change. Mr. Laird.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. It is indeed an honor to read the resolution of the Commonwealth Transportation Board commending Mark H. Merrill. Whereas Mark H. Merrill served as a member of the Commonwealth Transportation Board representing the Stanton District from 2020 to 2024, having been appointed in 2020 by Governor Ralph Northam. And whereas Mr. Merrill brought to his tenure on the board a dedicated record of leadership in the nonprofit sector, having served as Chief Executive Officer of Valley Health System in Winchester, a not-for-profit healthcare system of critical importance to the region, with a service area that included 16 counties, cities, and serves over 500,000 residents in Virginia, West Virginia, and Maryland. During his tenure with Valley Health Systems, he oversaw 6 hospitals, including the region's only trauma center, multiple ambulatory care sites, a physician enterprise, home health agency, rehabilitation center, and other health services, implementing numerous improvements that have added to the quality and safety of patient care in the region. And whereas, prior to Mr. Merrill's leadership role at Valley Health System, Mr. Merrill also served as Executive Vice President of Texas Health Resources in Arlington, Texas, and as President of Presbyterian Hospital in Dallas, Texas, all contributing to his 35-plus year career in complex and diverse healthcare organizations in both highly competitive, sophisticated markets as well as rural community. And whereas Mr. Merrill has made significant contributions to his community, having served as chair and board member of the Virginia Hospital and Healthcare Association, which honored him with awards of excellence for his advocacy and efforts to preserve quality health care across the Commonwealth, and having also served numerous other boards and associations, including the Mid-Atlantic and South Central Regional Boards of the American Hospital Association, Go Virginia Region 8, the Shenandoah University School of Business Advisory Board, Our Health, the Blue Ridge Wildlife Center, regional boards of the United Way, the American Red Cross, and senior citizens of Greater Dallas and the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill Gilling School of Public Health, where he served as both a board member and chair of the school's foundation. And where, I don't know where to put that. And whereas Mr.
Make an adjustment.
And whereas Mr. Merrill diligently and tirelessly has played a significant role in transportation for the Commonwealth, serving on the Commonwealth Transportation Board in his representation of the Stanton District, as well as his work as a member of the Environmental Committee, the Innovation Committee, the Rail and Transit Committee, the Revenue Sharing Transportation Alternatives Program Policy Committee, and whereas in each of his roles on the Commonwealth Transportation Board, Mr. Merrill demonstrated a dedicated and thoughtful approach to transportation issues, with a thirst for information and a desire to thoroughly understand the data or policy informing a decision or conclusion. And whereas in fulfilling his duties as a member of this board, his leadership, commitment, and insight have earned Mr. Merrill the admiration and respect of his colleagues and the staff at the Virginia Department of Transportation and the Department of Rail and Public Transportation. And whereas the Commonwealth Transportation Board wishes to express its appreciation to Mr. Merrill for his years of service to this board and to the Commonwealth. Now, therefore be it resolved by the Commonwealth Transportation Board that the members of this board hereby extend to Mr. Mark Merrill their highest commendation and gratitude for his years of outstanding service on behalf of the citizens of the Commonwealth, and convey their best wishes to him in all future ventures.
Thank you, Mr. Laird. Before I ask for a second, let me make a couple comments. Mr. Merrill, a dual degree Chapel Hill dude, spends a lot of time in Texas and then gets home to Virginia where you belong, back here with us. You know, I tell you, it takes all types to make a real board work well. And when you read this piece, which I know well, it made me think, it sort of doubled down. Whereas in each of his roles on the Commonwealth Transportation Board, Mr. Merrill demonstrated a dedicated and thoughtful approach to transportation issues with a thirst for information and a desire to thoroughly understand the data or policy informing a decision or conclusion. If that isn't Mark Merrill, I don't know what it is. And it takes a lot of brains and a lot of work to do the kind of work that he's done and he does for this board. And I will tell you, it's sincerely appreciated, sir. And I'd ask my colleagues to rise with me for a group second. So she'd be very loving of you right now, and I am too.
Oh, good.
God bless you, brother.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You have to make sure someone wears a blue tie to keep these two guys in line over here.
I'll keep them in check.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, folks, that concludes our business here this morning. I do want to say again, it's been a pleasure to have these members, these board members, and more than that, the impact that they've had on Virginia is profound. This board is incredibly impactful on the lives of Virginians every day. And the billions and billions and billions of dollars that y'all have overseen in the time, 8 years' time, is just incredible, the impact that you've had. And most people don't know that, but we know that, and you know that. And I just have to say, thank you and well done. Appreciate it very much. Yes, sir.
I'd just like to first thank the board. It's been a pleasure serving with you. But I also want to thank the staff. Having spent my career in healthcare with 24/7, I know the pressures that the staff is under to respond Christmas, Thanksgiving, holidays. So your work is valuable. So thank you.
Mr. Secretary, could I?
Ms. Hines,
I
sure.
wanted to echo what Mr. Merrill said. You know, I've sat on policy boards now for 28 years in my life, and the reality is that we are only as good as the people who work for us, and the information that they produce and their willingness to address the questions we raise. You know, it was quite interesting. You know, I'm from the public sector, Greg's from the private sector, Mark's from the nonprofit sector. It's an example of what different perspectives we bring to something that affects our residents every single day. And the strength and the power of the board is our perspectives, as you said earlier, but also the belief that we are stewards of the public trust. Regardless of how we get to this table, that's our job, is to take care of what already exists and to make it even better. And I will just say, from my perspective, the 8 years I've spent on this board, we have transformed, you know, transportation. We really have. I think about the work Steve did on getting the money right so that when we are investing in maintenance, we're not over-investing in some places and under-investing in others. And oh my goodness, think about transforming rail in Virginia and that great report we had from DJ yesterday about the next step, or the 81 corridor, or unlocking the power of 66 and 95. What's happened in these years has been amazing, exceptional. And our policy approaches, which started with us here, are examples for the rest of the country. And we should never lose sight of the fact that we've been out there pushing the envelope in ways that treat residents fairly, whether they live in the mountainous regions of Bristol or in the high rises of Crystal City. We got it all in Virginia, and we do a good job here of balancing it. And I just wish you all the best in the work that you're going to do over these next few years. There's plenty of challenges coming. We talked about some of them yesterday, whether it's how much money we have for maintenance or what's going to be our approach to environmental stewardship as we're struggling with sea level rise and landslides and all of that sort of stuff. So I wish you all the best. This has been an amazing ride, and it's been an amazing, amazing group of people to work with. I will miss you all. It is time for me to go. I'm ready to not sit on policy boards anymore. But I will miss you all, and I will miss the staff I worked with, and I will miss the jurisdictional staff too. I had a great opportunity to work with some incredible professionals in the jurisdictions in Nova. So, I'm grateful to the folks who gave me this opportunity, and I'm grateful to have been here. So thank you for a time to
It
speak.
only took you 28 years to get it out of your system.
Yeah, I had to.
You said you're ready.
I am ready.
You're ready.
I am. But yeah, it did take me 28 years to get it out of my system.
Beautifully done, ma'am. Beautifully done. Mr. Yates.
Just one last comment, and I would like to echo my colleagues' sentiments about staff and the board, but I think that the main thing I take away from this is not only the incredible work this board does, but the incredible work that staff does. I'm just really impressed with the VDOT employees and staff. It's been, again, as Mary said, an incredible ride. So what I'll appreciate the most, I think, are the lasting friendships from this board and from the staff for a long time. Thank you very much. Been a pleasure.
Thank everybody for what you do. This meeting is now adjourned. All have a safe day. Please drive safely on the way home, and God bless Virginia.